Hey everybody, welcome back. Another guitar, and this is my first new Fesley. I tried this brand out once before. It was an open box, and I had less than good experience with it off of Amazon. This time, I bought this brand new, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of what I paid for this guitar and why I bought it. So, first off, this brand, Fesley, is a fairly new entrant in the budget guitar market. These guys have been around since 2019, the company was founded, so a little over 6 years. And they've grown fairly quickly over that time period. And their guitars are mostly S-style guitars, although they now have, Tele-style guitars. I believe they also have some Gibson Les Paul-style bodies as well. And they cater to, starter guitar players, beginner guitar players, and they claim that even professional guitar players can play their guitars. So this particular model is the FDK-800. And the DK, I believe, is for dinky. So they're going after, the market that you can probably figure out by now what a dinky is. And it's a smaller S-style body shape, I guess. But it's not, it's not small. I mean, it's a 25.5-inch scale guitar, 24 medium jumbo frets. So it's not a smaller, scaled guitar. It's a normal sized instrument. And what else do we have to talk about? So the price point, that's what I want to mention first off and get that out of the way. So these guitars are all over the place if you shop them, right? If you go to Fesley's website, if you buy this thing direct off of Fesley, I believe it's $260.99. At least that's what it was yesterday. $260.99. If you go to Amazon, these things are all over the place. Again, you see them for $189.99. You see them for the lowest price, I believe, is $149.99. These were $139.99 on Amazon about a week ago. They have one color for $132. I believe it's the blue version of this. It comes in 4 colors, by the way. It comes in a purple burst. It comes in a blue burst. It comes in a black, transparent black burst. And it also comes in this, which is the sunburst, which is the color that I like best. Now, I bought this off of Temu, okay? And I found that Temu had the best price on this thing. So, you know me, being the nut I am, and I shop these guitars all over the place. This thing was $179 on Temu, $199 on Temu, $149 on Temu, $122 on Temu, $24. I found it finally for $107, $106 and change. Let's call it $107 on Temu, brand new. And I used the mobile app, was able to find a 30% off coupon, figured it wouldn't work, and it took. So this guitar came to $82 and change, free shipping, with tax and all out the door. This guitar was under $90 shipped. It was $89 and change. So I figured, what do I have to lose, right? Trying out a Fesley. I reached out to them, asking them if they were interested in me, reviewing one of their guitars, but they apparently weren't. And channel's not big enough, whatever the reason is. And I said, okay, I'm going to buy one with my own money, but I'm going to buy one at the lowest possible cost I can find, just in the fact that it's a dud. So here I am. That's the backstory to what's going on, okay? Now, we'll talk about the guitar a little bit, then I'll play it, and I'll give you my honest impression, first look of what this guitar is all about, okay? I'm not being paid clearly by Fesley. This guitar was paid by me and bought by me, so it's not a gift. So it's going to be 100% honest in terms of what I think of the guitar. Okay, so first off, let's talk about the guitar. So this is supposed to have a AAA maple flamed maple top. It almost, to me, looks like a decal, I'll be honest with you, on the top of the guitar. I'm not sure if this is actually a maple veneer or not, but it's nice enough. I mean, it just seems too symmetrical, to be honest with you, to be an actual veneer top, maple veneer top. But again, I didn't dissect this. I have no way of knowing. But I've seen a lot of, decals and prints on Grote guitars and other lower cost guitars on Amazon. And this seems to be, that. But again, I don't know for sure. It's supposed to have a poplar body, the wood. Now, one of the things I don't like right out of the chute is the fact that it's got a black back. I like the wood coloring throughout the guitar on the back as well. I don't mind the headstock. The headstock is black, and it looks kind of sharp in my opinion. All right, it's got that little slight beak to it, Falcon-esque headstock, and Fesley in gold deluxe series on it. It has the truss rod adjustment on the headstock right there. It's supposed to have a bone nut on the guitar. I did this a couple of times and I broke a tooth, so apologize. I'm just kidding you. I don't know if this is a bone nut or not. It could be. Could be plastic, could be bone. On the on the Fesley website, it's listed as bone in one spot and plastic in another. So it's supposed to be bone. It has a C-shaped neck, and again, it feels like a shallow C. It's not super thin, not Ibanez thin, but it's not thick. A lot of people in reviews have claimed it's a thick neck. I don't find this thick at all. I think it's let's call it a medium C-shaped neck. Back of the headstock just says made in the People's Republic of China. It has Fesley branded sealed tuners. They're supposed to be 18-to-1 gear ratio. Back of the guitar, you can see it doesn't have any sculpting here on the neck where it meets the neck plate. There's no other additional sculpting here at the lower horn like some of the other guitars have. It has, I believe 2 springs in it, maybe 3. Here's your cavities for getting at the electronics. The block is a very, very thin metal block for the truss, for the springs and the tremolo system. It has a 2-point trem on this guitar, and it's set up already floating, slightly floating on the guitar. So if you don't like that and you want to lock it down, you're going to have to do that on your own. That's fairly easy to do. The fretboard is supposed to be Purple Heart, and it is a dark fretboard. It's fairly dry. So out of wherever this has been in a factory or whatever for a while, warehouse, it probably needs a little bit of oiling. The frets themselves are in excellent condition. There are no sharp fret ends that I've detected on this guitar, which is a nice thing because it doesn't have ball end rounded frets. It has normal nickel frets on this guitar. No stainless steel rounded ball end frets, but they're excellent. Excellently done. Much better than a lot of guitars that are a lot more expensive than this guitar, actually. Radius, fretboard radius, almost 16 inches. It's 15 3/4. Again, I mentioned 24 medium jumbo frets on this guitar. They get very small as you get down to the end, the higher shredding area. 18-to-1 ratio tuners on the guitar. I've played it minimally for a while so far, and the tuners do feel good. I stretched out the strings, played it, so it's holding tune relatively well so far. The pickups are ceramic pickups. You have a humbucker at the bridge and 2 single coils. Pickups sound surprisingly nice to me for a budget guitar. 1 volume, 2 tone, no coil splitting on this thing. 5-way switch. The switch is fairly strong feeling, fairly sturdy feeling on this guitar. The pots, I believe, are small pots. They're not, 500K pots. I don't believe they're CTS pots. They're just basic, lower range electronics that you get on import guitars. But they feel nice. They feel, strong. They don't have any grinding. So far, the the components feel relatively good on the guitar. What else? 2-point trem I mentioned. 25.5-inch scale. I think I mentioned all the pertinent parts of the guitar. It has a little bit of binding on the front, none on the back. Finishing wise, dings, blems. Yeah, on the back of the guitar I see, some, indentations in the body, but you're going to get that with guitars at this price point. So it isn't perfect, but you know what? It looks nice. I really like, even though if this is not a real veneer top, and let's say it is a decal or some sort of printed top, it does actually look pretty nice. I like the way this guitar looks. So let's put this down for a second. I want to show you what the guitar came with. So, Fesley shipped a thank you card for choosing them. All right. What else? Little instruction manual. It came in handy for me being a neophyte and a home hobbyist. I wasn't sure how to hold the guitar. I thought initially I was probably doing it wrong. I was holding the guitar like this and playing it like this. I even attempted to, hold it like this. I was picking at it with my teeth. And I thank God that they shipped this thing, because it does show you how to properly hold the guitar. All right, all jokes aside now, let's see what we came with here. Guitar strap. And it's, it's probably a throwaway, I'll be honest with you. It's a cheap-looking guitar strap. I feel like Halloween going into the bag of goodies. Comes obviously with the tremolo arm, which is nice that they ship it, right? And some tools to adjust the truss rod and the intonation on the guitar. They were assuming the guitar would come with some sharp fret ends, I would imagine, because they shipped a sanding block. 1000 grit Fesley branded sanding block, which is a nice thing to have in case you do have those over time, right? You get some fret sprouts. So this is a nice throw-in. Fesley picks. Nice little bunch of picks. Looks like the 3 or 4 guitar picks in here. Anything else? Oh, yeah. Yeah. And a tuner. A Fesley tuner. Digital tuner. Okay. Good. And, of course, this nice bag that you can use. And what I do with this is in the wintertime, when there's ice on the windshield, I put this thing on my hand and I scrape the ice off. So it does have a function. The gig bag. Let's see here. Here's the gig bag. It's got the Fesley logo on it, right? It's a vinyl gig bag. It's not a super expensive gig bag, but you know what? It does have a little bit of padding in it. So it's going to provide a little bit more protection than your typical, dust cover that a lot of these things ship with. So, yeah. I mean, is it a great gig bag? No. Is it going to rip over time? Probably. But, initially when you need to store your guitar or just, move it to get it to your luthier to have some adjustments made or whatever the case is, yeah, I think it's fine. It's a nice throw-in. Okay, guys, so now, most important thing, right? You want to hear what the guitar... Oh, the other thing, let me mention. So, this shipped in this box, and it was on my stoop like this, literally. So, it ripped open somehow, and I see a lot of the reviews for Fesley have these things, with the front of the box folded down and everything else. Fesley has to do a better job, if you're listening, Fesley, hint, hint, of shipping this guitar either double boxed or with a stronger single box. Because every video that I've seen of this thing being delivered, this box is messed up. Is really messed up. This was like this. I was assuming, there's going to be a lot of damage to the base of the guitar, the bottom of the guitar, because it was exposed. Luckily, I didn't find any on the guitar. And the other thing is they had the foresight to put it in a gig bag before they shipped it out. So that helped, I'm sure. But the way this thing is packaged, it's got minimal protection in a single box. And if it wasn't for the gig bag, this guitar would have been really, really whacked. I can guarantee you that. So they don't do a good job of shipping instruments. That's a problem. And that might turn into a bigger problem over time when they ship volumes and volumes of these things. So, you don't want to follow me, guy. So here's the guitar. I'm going to adjust the camera so you can see the guitar and not me, obviously. And let's play it clean for a bit, and then we'll play it with some distortion. Okay? Just play some basic stuff clean. This is the neck pickup. It's an HSS. Humbucker at the bridge, 2 single coils, one in the middle, one at the neck. Neck in the middle. Just the middle. Middle and the humbucker. And now you hear the volume swell, right? Because now we've got the humbucker just engaged. And there isn't a split, a coil tap, so it's just the humbucker. That's the only way you can get it. So you can clearly hear the difference in volume between this single coil mode, or this pure single coil mode, and this humbucker mode. So you're going to have to adjust the volume, either on the guitar or on the amp, when you're playing in pure humbucker mode, not to, have overkill on the volume when you're going to the humbucker. So they're not extremely well-balanced pickups, but on budget guitars in this price range, you typically find that with all the guitars, unfortunately. So, but sound-wise on these pickups, I think they're decent for what you're getting and what you're paying, especially what I paid for this guitar. So, let's hear some individual notes with all the positions. So this is just, the neck, the middle, the bridge, and we'll go in that direction. Here's the neck pickup. Now the humbucker. Okay, now I'll put on distortion. And we'll go through the neck, etc. Neck and middle. Just the middle. Middle and bridge. Humbucker. taking some notes. Get this tape off my finger. That would help. So, plug this out. So all in all, and again, I'm playing through, guys, the Gamma 25 watt amp. All in all, at, let's say, the normal price, right? You can get this for, let's say, 140 bucks on Amazon or Temu or wherever. I think it's worth it for that price. I think it's a decent quality entry-level HSS style guitar. If you can get it like I got it for under 90 bucks new with all in with everything, I think it's a stupid deal that I got on Temu. A stupid deal. Where does this guitar sit? It probably sits in with the Donners of the world, the Squier, you know, Sonics of the world, and Bullets HSS. I'll do a comparison of this versus the Court HSS that I have. I like the way this guitar looks better right out of the chute than the Court. I like the way the guitar feels in my hand. We'll see how it sounds. But for this price, it's a great deal. I think I got a fantastic deal. And I think it's a decent entry-level guitar. Is it a pro quality guitar? Hell no. I don't care what anybody says on YouTube about this being anywhere near a pro quality guitar. Is it an intermediate quality guitar? Probably not. Is it a good novice like myself, home hobbyist, beginner, somebody learning, even beyond learning, somebody that wants to play an HSS and not break the bank? Yeah, I think it's a really good guitar for that. A great deal. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Put them in the comments. If you like these videos, please subscribe. Please share. A like doesn't hurt. And whatever else you want to know about my experience with this guitar, put your questions below. I'll do my best to address them. And until the next one, guys, be well. See you soon. Take care.